Hi everybody, it's Diane here with 3 iCads going. I already started this video, but I could not find a background for this card, and I went on and on and on saying no, 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 and I decided to get rid of it. These are 2 family photos that are actually Xerox copies from years ago, and I put blue watercolor on them for some old reason. This is an old photo copy, not family. Okay, so this one though, I remembered this. There's a pack of old looking, vintage looking papers. So maybe there's something in there. There's some, well, maybe that one. And if not, I guess I have to stop the video again. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Okay, wow. We found something. I don't know, just a gent in a car with blue. Is that difficult to match? I guess. Yeah, Dan, you didn't get us a good look at that picture there. And then I had this, that's scrapbook paper. Okay. This one is kind of set. Since this lady has a phone, I have a phone rubber stamp. So something with that. Okay. This one, I sort of thought of text, and that matches nicely. And then in looking for this card for a half hour, I came across that's kind of cool too. That would fit all the way across. All right, that's kind of different. And where else would I use this paper, right? Do you think I should trim off these white edges? I don't know. All right, I'm going to say no at the moment. Although if I did, I could bring this down. Would that look better? Yeah, that would probably look better. Let's get the trimmer and do it right. As perfect as I am, cutting straight lines is not one of my perfected charms. It sounded awfully sarcastic, Diane. Well, no, it's not. I can't cut straight. It's not sarcasm. Ha 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 ha. Dan, is it first thing in the morning again? Yeah, it is. Okay, putting the trimmer back. Out of my way. Okay. Yeah, I think that's better. All right, do we want a little bit of this behind? It's okay. It's okay. You already said that, I know. That's okay too, just because it's there. I don't know if that's a good enough reason to use something. Not great. Okay. This wouldn't go, would it? This was part of this. and I did not like it with the car for some reason. I don't know. Not too white. Okay. It needs like a second something with it, you know, another text. Anything in here? No, that's nice. Okay. Wow, she actually said okay and not no. No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. What is that from? Singing in the Rain. Okay, that's kind of cool. Needs help. There needs something darkish behind. Let's see, in the no-no-nos, I had found, I'll never find it. It was a kind of a blue-gray strip. I think that's it. Yeah, that's good. I almost think I want that over. Although that leaves a, we'll see. That's pretty good. Okay, our lady here, do we want some paper on the bottom or leave it white? And I think it needs something. I did try a phone book, but that paper was, you know, it's like a newsprint and it was almost kind of gray, so I didn't care for it. But that crossed my mind. If you're saying that, that's not a bad idea. No, I don't like that. Uh-oh, she's starting with the nose again. In closed caption, it'll probably say N-O-S-E, right? Well, if we have something dark, I'll have to stamp that on a separate paper and glue it on, which is a lot safer. I should probably do that anyway. But I thought it would look nice if it was really on. You know what I mean? Like you can see the blue through it. But that is kind of risky for those of us that aren't that great at stamping. Ick. Boy, does that, now that doesn't look like it's got green in it, but you put it there, it sure looks like it's got green or yellow in it. That too. I guess I don't have a real pale blue. Okay, nuts to that. Well, I could paint. Ick. Would you go back to no? That's better than ick. Alright, nothing is going to work today, I guess. I think your own relatives would be a little more cooperative. Okay, all right, we'll try it. That's nice. You know, it's just It's nice. Okay, I'm going to pause and glue backgrounds. They won't be done. This needs more embellishing. This will too. See? Okay, hang on. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. It's a good thing I did it on a separate paper. Okay. You have options. You could leave it. You could cut this stuff off and then draw it back in. What I think, I'm going to fill it in with the blue when all's said and done. And since we're on the phone there, I have hello. I pulled some flowers for her. I don't think so. These are kind of large, but I thought if there was a partial one at the top, would that look nice? Let's see. Anybody want a blue border? Well, a little big. If all that negative space was cut out, or we could do that and get rid of that leaf. Oh, that's not bad. Okay. You know, now that I tossed that, oh, it's too short. Never mind. This is going to say the bottom is a tad boring. Could use a border. Well, oh, cut the tip of that leaf off. Weren't paying attention down here. Yeah, that's too busy. That's what I suspected. But what if we cut some of the leaves out? This one could maybe benefit from a little rubber stamping somewhere. Somewhere, how about that? Wow, what a profound statement. All right, let's see, is there a border? Or I could stitch down there. It's kind of cute. Is light a way to go? A good way to go. Let's specify that there. No. Let's specify that there. Talk about proper grammar. Too dark. All right, I'm not seeing anything. What is this? Oh, that might be nice. It's a copy of old trim, but I'm glad I copied it because I don't have any more. Could go over. That's just negative space down there. Can you imagine when the telephone was considered a novelty? Okay, this one, I have license plate paper. Let me put this back. Don't we all? Well, this size is better. I don't know where that is. I'm assuming it's Illinois. And can you see how rural it looks back there? Which, you know, maybe it was a rural town, but I have a feeling back then, that's Chicago. No. Things just weren't built up yet. I like it, but not necessarily there because it's sort of like these two things are real similar looking and it looks a little dumb, in my professional opinion. By the way, I got this crooked. I did that again where I glued the, this to this, and it needed to be trimmed a little bit, but it was so minimal. I thought I could go ahead and put it on. I'll get it straight. No, I didn't. But I think with that picture over it, you don't notice. Then why'd you point it out? Because I just wanted to reiterate, don't put stuff on till you trim it. Don't do what Diane does. That's better. All right, and I thought, there's still negativity. What if we put a little piece of a map? I don't know. This one is a road map. It's fine. It still needs something, on it, over it. All right, I'll think about that. This one. The only thing in looking for flowers, for this one, I found these, which I don't know that I really want flowers on here, but if I do, that might be cool. And then I just happened to see this, and yeah, I mean, what does that really have to do? A ticket, but they look old. That's what it has to do with it. I'm not going to trim it up here. Well, it's kind of too much. What if we did that? We split it. Maybe. Of course, maybe you don't want these because of that flower there. But I don't know. If you don't use that, what are you going to use? Tree. What about a tree? A couple trees. Well, it's not in a farm field. He's not by trees, right? Diane, you're boring everybody again. Well, no. I'm not cutting out all the detail. And it's a nice, but sunflower, image is nice. I don't want to break it up. Poppies. Yeah, this company came out with Wizard of Oz paper, which actually was pretty cool. It was like the old book illustrations, not the movie. I didn't buy any of it, but this. It was cool. It is cool. You can still buy it. But I don't know. I just didn't see me doing a lot with the Wizard of Oz. Oops. Oh, that's kind of nice. Okay. I have to leave again. I know my craft time keeps getting smaller and smaller. I probably will finish these off. Okay, hang on, come back. Okay, while someone's having their lawn cut, these are done. A little stitching detail here. I did paint in the background. I think that looks nice. That's fine. I inked the edges in black. Very monochromatic. These two win the Tinkering of the Year awards. This one, let's do some messy stitching. Okay. Well, that still needs something. How about arrows? Okay, you know, I have this paper. So I just cut out two with a tan border. They look like Bozo Circus magic arrows. It would dawn on me then it was too much rectangle stuff. Well, maybe it's too big. Okay, take it down to the brown. Okay. No, it's still too much. I mean, everything is a rectangle. Okay, cut them out. Okay. I got those placed, which was a little tricky too. And then it was like, you know, it's still, what if you add some more stitching? Okay. How about another arrow? Okay. That took away from the Bozo Circus thing. And then everything seemed like, so okay, more stitching. Okay. It's edged in brown. The stitching line actually ends here, and it was way too lined up with that. I didn't like it, so that's marker to carry that up. You know, it's hard when you're stitching. It's usually not facing you properly with the foot of the machine. It's hard to see. It's sort of a crapshoot in a way. This one was the same thing. I put some fabric here. I found a word I think sums up farming very well. It's fortitude if you can't read it. I put the other piece of the ticket over on this side. I think that looked better. And then I decided the image was, it was fine, but kind of like this one. It could just use little details. So I stitched here and here. Okay, well now it left all this negative sky here. Well, okay, put in a zigzag. It was still set from this, my machine. Well, Diane, you made it a little short. Okay, so I added that in with pen. Well, now it looks like you need stitching here. Yeah. Well, you know, there's a little on this side. Now it needs, yeah. There's a lot of back and forth to the sewing machine, but they're nice in the end. It is fun to use vintage images, I think, on this kind of stuff. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day out there.